Every year, I was the Halloween prank master. Fake spiders in candy bowls, rigged skeletons that would pop out from behind bushes. I lived for that stuff. My friends knew they couldn't compete, so they'd stopped trying. But this year, something was different. They were all acting a little weird, whispering behind my back, but I figured they were just planning something lame to get back at me. Halloween night came, and I was ready with my usual tricks. But as the night went on, strange things started happening. I noticed someone, or something, watching me from the trees outside my house. A dark figure stood just beyond the porch light, not moving, not saying anything. At first, I assumed it was one of my friends trying to spook me, so I yelled at them to cut it out, but they didn't move. Then the noises started, low, guttural growls coming from the shadows. I brushed it off, thinking they had rigged some speakers or something, but the sound was so real it made my skin crawl. My phone buzzed, and it was a message from one of my friends, Dave. "You've gone too far this year, man. This is sick." I was confused. I hadn't pulled any major pranks yet, so what was he talking about? I tried calling him, but no one picked up. Then I got another message, this time from my friend Emily. "We're done. You're seriously twisted. Don't contact me again." Panic set in. I had no idea what was going on. I figured they were setting me up for something big, so I decided to get ahead of it. I ran outside to confront them, but the dark figure that had been lurking was gone. Instead, the street was completely empty, and the air felt cold, colder than it should have been. I saw something move near the bushes, a flash of white. Then, one by one, things started happening. A bloody handprint appeared on my front door. I heard footsteps inside my house, but I was outside. I rushed in to find the lights flickering, and all the furniture was rearranged like someone had been through every room. My heart was pounding out of my chest now, thinking maybe this wasn't my friends messing with me after all. I finally managed to get Dave on the phone. His voice was shaky, almost like he'd been crying. He accused me of sending him some kind of grotesque package earlier in the day, an animal heart wrapped in newspaper. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I swore to him it wasn't me. Before he could respond, the line cut out, and my power went off completely. By now, I was genuinely freaked out. All my pranks had been harmless, silly stuff. But this was something darker, something dangerous. I tried leaving the house, but as soon as I stepped outside, I saw the dark figure again, closer this time, standing at the edge of the driveway. I backed up slowly, heart pounding, and then, just as I thought things couldn't get any worse, the lights in my house all turned back on at once. I heard laughing, loud and echoing, and suddenly all my friends burst out of hiding, pulling off their masks and revealing that they'd been behind everything the whole time. I collapsed onto the ground, a mix of relief and frustration hitting me like a wave. They'd gotten me. For the first time in years, they'd really, truly scared me. The bloody handprints, the creepy messages, the weird noises, they'd planned it all perfectly. I couldn't even be mad. They'd done what no one else could. They'd made the prank master believe his own life was a horror story. It was the ultimate prank, and I had to give it to them. let me set the scene for you. It's Halloween night, and like every year, my friends and I decided to mess with the neighborhood. Nothing crazy, just the usual doorbell, ditching, TPing trees, and maybe a few fake spiders here and there. We thought we were hilarious, pulling off our pranks while the whole neighborhood probably rolled their eyes at us. But this time, things didn't exactly go as planned. We'd hit up most of the houses on our street, and we were feeling pretty proud of ourselves when we came across this place we hadn't noticed before. It was this big old house that looked straight out of a horror movie. It had creepy decorations, flickering lights, the whole deal. We figured it was just another house to prank. Nate, being Nate, dared us to go up and knock. When we got to the door, we noticed it was slightly open, like someone was inviting us in. Of course, we thought it was just another neighborhood set up to scare kids, so we laughed it off and decided to walk in. The second we stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind us. We all jumped, but started laughing, thinking someone had rigged it to mess with us. The house was pitch dark, except for a few dim lights leading down a hallway. Everything was covered in fake cobwebs, and there were creepy mannequins dressed as ghosts and monsters. I remember thinking, man, they really went all out for Halloween this year. But then things started getting weird. As we walked deeper into the house, we began hearing strange sounds, like whispers, footsteps behind us, and doors creaking. Nate joked that we were probably on some hidden camera prank show, but I was starting to get freaked out. The air felt thick, and the further we went, the more real everything seemed. Then, out of nowhere, a skeleton figure popped out of a closet, and we all screamed. Not just the ha ha ha, that scared me kind of scream, but the holy crap, what is happening kind of scream. I was convinced it was just some next level prank by whoever lived here. But the fear in my friends' faces was real. We tried to leave, but the way back was blocked by what looked like more actors dressed as ghouls and zombies. They didn't speak or move. They just stood there, staring at us. Nate made a run for it, and the rest of us followed. That's when things got worse. The walls started closing in, and we were herded through a narrow passage into a room that looked like a twisted, haunted lab, complete with fake blood, body parts, and creepy music playing in the background. I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I was ready to believe the house was actually haunted. We were all panicking, banging on doors and windows, trying to figure out how to get out of this nightmare. Every turn we made, something or someone jumped out at us. Ghosts, spiders, you name it. It was like the house was alive, knowing exactly how to scare the life out of us. Finally, after what felt like forever, the lights came on and the scary music stopped. A voice crackled through some hidden speakers, laughing. Gotcha! And out from the shadows came our neighbors and a bunch of people we'd been pranking earlier in the night, all smiling like they just won the lottery. It turns out the house wasn't haunted at all. It was a pop-up haunted house attraction they'd set up for Halloween, and they'd been waiting for us. The whole thing was payback for all the pranks we pulled on the neighborhood every year. They'd even teamed up with some actors from a local theater to make it extra realistic, knowing it would freak us out. I gotta admit, they got us good. We couldn't stop laughing once we realized it was all a setup. But I'll tell you what, I don't think we'll be pulling any pranks next Halloween. They definitely won that round.